Our entire neighborhood was shaken by a troubling event. A 78-year-old gentleman, Richard, vibrant and full of energy with no concerning health conditions, suddenly collapsed to the floor moments after rising from bed. There were no warning signs, no earlier symptoms, nothing indicating trouble was brewing. What should have been just another ordinary morning transformed into a powerful lesson, one that might be relevant to you as well. The most concerning aspect? This situation isn't isolated. Daily, countless older adults unconsciously repeat seemingly harmless morning habits that are actually reducing their physical resilience, compromising their circulation, hastening aging, and dramatically increasing their vulnerability to falls, accidents, and cardiovascular issues. These routine actions performed within the first moments of waking can determine whether someone maintains independence and vitality or becomes vulnerable to time's gradual toll. Today I'll unveil the 5 major mistakes seniors make upon waking, and more importantly, I'll demonstrate how to correct them through practical, simple approaches so you can experience greater energy, improved balance, increased freedom, and enhanced mental clarity at every stage of life. Stay with me until the conclusion because the 5th mistake is by far the most dangerous and rarely discussed, yet it's silently undermining thousands of people's well-being. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to receive more content that can genuinely transform your daily experience, and comment below. Today, I commit to protecting my strength and health every day. This statement confirms your dedication to a more conscious, stronger life. Mistake number 1, rising. Too hastily, picture this scenario. You awaken, open your eyes, and almost reflexively throw yourself out of bed. It's automatic, part of the daily routine for millions worldwide. Most have never paused to consider the risks this behavior carries. What appears as simple haste can actually be the first step toward falls, fractures, hospitalizations, or even serious cardiovascular events, especially after age 65 when the circulatory system no longer responds as quickly. Getting up abruptly becomes a hidden danger many only recognize when it's too late. Throughout the night, your body remains at rest. For hours, blood circulates more slowly, blood pressure naturally decreases, and muscles completely relax. When you wake and stand without allowing your body time to adjust, you trigger a sudden drop in blood pressure, a phenomenon known as orthostatic hypotension. This abrupt change prevents blood from reaching your brain quickly enough, causing dizziness, blurred vision, weakness in your legs, and sometimes fainting. Many seniors, even perfectly healthy ones, experience falls in their bedrooms shortly after waking simply because they don't allow for this adjustment period. The most dangerous aspect. This morning weakness doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it's just a slight dimming of vision, a minor imbalance, a brief moment of shortness of breath. Because these symptoms seem insignificant, many ignore them until the inevitable happens. Statistics clearly show that morning falls are among the leading causes of serious fractures and hospitalizations among older adults. The most tragic part is that many could be prevented with simple actions in the day's first minutes. In ancient Taoist wisdom, waking is considered a sacred ritual. They teach that how you awaken sets the tone for your entire day, and over time, your entire life. For them, the body must be gently called to consciousness in stages, respecting the natural flow of circulation and vital energy. Moving your fingers, breathing deeply, gently stretching while still lying down. These are practices Taoist practitioners have employed for centuries to preserve vitality, stability, and mental clarity even at advanced ages. Modern science now confirms this approach dramatically reduces the risk of falls and cardiovascular problems. What should you do when you open your eyes? Don't rush. Breathe deeply 2 or 3 times. Gently move your fingers and toes. Rotate your ankles and wrists, then slowly roll onto your side and sit on the edge of the bed. Let your feet touch the floor and remain there for at least 20 to 30 seconds, rotating your feet and lightly moving your shoulders. Only then, once you feel steady, stand up slowly and mindfully. This small morning ritual, taking less than 2 minutes, could be what protects you from falls, injuries, and months of recovery. It's the difference between starting your day safely or leaving your well-being to chance. Mistake number 2. Not hydrating immediately. During sleep, while you rest, your body continues working non-stop. Heart beating, lungs breathing, cells regenerating. This continuous work consumes water even when you don't notice it. That's why when you open your eyes, your body is already in a state of mild dehydration. Yet many seniors ignore this fact and begin their day without hydrating, triggering a silent chain of problems. Thickened blood, compromised circulation, unstable blood pressure, and over time, an increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden falls. The major danger is that with age, the natural sensation of thirst diminishes, meaning you could be significantly dehydrated without even feeling thirsty. Many people start their day with coffee, medications, or skip fluids altogether, not realizing they're placing additional strain on their circulatory system from the very first hour. As blood becomes thicker, the heart must work harder to pump, it overloading a system that already responds more slowly with age. It's a silent cycle that gradually drains vitality. Let me share Thomas's story. At 79 years old, he always considered himself healthy. He gardened regularly, maintained his household, and led an active life. But over time, he began experiencing headaches, fatigue, and mild morning dizziness. He attributed these symptoms to normal aging until one day when he fainted in his kitchen shortly after waking up. At the hospital, the diagnosis was surprising: mild dehydration and hypertension. The solution was remarkably simple: developing the habit of keeping a glass of water by his bedside and drinking it immediately upon waking. Within weeks, his symptoms had almost completely disappeared. Among Taoist practitioners, there's an ancient teaching: before the body acts, it must be honored with what sustains it. For them, water is the day's first nourishment, the vital liquid energy that purifies the body and prepares it for conscious movement. This ancestral wisdom resonates with modern science. Hydrating immediately upon waking improves circulation, stabilizes blood pressure, and enhances mental clarity. What should you do? Before thinking about coffee, news, or social media, drink water. Keep a glass nearby within easy reach. If it's difficult, start with small sips. You might add a few drops of lemon to naturally stimulate your digestive system. Remember, thirst is a delayed distress signal from your body. True protection happens before this signal arrives. This simple daily gesture could be the silent shield protecting your life for decades. Mistake number 3. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach. For many people, the day truly begins after the first sip of coffee. The aroma, the warmth in your hands, the sensation of waking up. It's almost a sacred ritual. But there's a silent detail most people ignore: drinking coffee on an empty stomach, especially after age 65, can be one of the worst habits for your health. The most dangerous part? The damage doesn't appear immediately. It builds slowly, like an invisible crack that eventually causes the entire structure to collapse. When you wake up, your body has been fasting for many hours. Blood sugar levels are low, energy reserves are depleted, and your stomach is extremely sensitive. By pouring pure coffee into this environment, you abruptly increase gastric acid production. Without food to protect the stomach walls, this acid begins attacking the inner lining, promoting gastritis, acid reflux, abdominal discomfort, and eventually ulcers. For those with a history of digestive problems, very common among seniors, this small daily gesture can trigger serious complications. Let me tell you about William, 77 years old. For over 40 years, he maintained the same habit: waking up, brewing strong coffee, and drinking it before anything else. He believed this was his secret to morning energy. But gradually, he developed stomach pains, chest burning, intestinal irritation, and eventually severe acid reflux. It wasn't until a nutritionist explained the impact of this habit that William made a change. He began eating a small portion of solid food before his coffee: a banana, a handful of nuts, or a piece of whole grain bread. Within weeks, the discomfort he had endured for years simply vanished. In Taoist wisdom, there is a fundamental principle: before stimulating the body, strengthen it. That's why even during intense meditative practices, Practitioners eat small, light meals before introducing any strong stimulation to the nervous system. They understand that internal balance is fragile and that vital energy must be respected, not forced. This age-old care protects the stomach, heart, and even emotional stability, creating a solid foundation for facing the day. What should you do? Before drinking your morning coffee, consume something light and nutritious. It could be a banana, a handful of nuts, a piece of whole grain bread, or even plain yogurt. It doesn't need to be a full breakfast, just a small base to protect your stomach and balance caffeine absorption. This simple change can eliminate silent discomforts and improve your mood, energy, and even sleep quality over time. Remember, strengthening your body before making demands on it is a form of wisdom spanning centuries. Mistake number 4. Ignoring morning stiffness. Many people wake up feeling slight stiffness in their legs, shoulders, or back and simply ignore it. They get up, stretch quickly, take a few steps, and continue with their day as if nothing is happening. The problem is that this morning stiffness, so common in people over 65, isn't just a passing discomfort. It's a silent signal that your body needs more care, especially during the day's first minutes. Ignoring this warning increases the risk of strains, muscle injuries, and falls, which for seniors can have serious and lasting consequences. During sleep, our bodies remain almost motionless for hours. Muscles stay relaxed, circulation slows, and synovial fluid, the lubricant for joints, settles, making movements feel stiff upon waking. If you try to move too quickly without giving time for this natural lubrication to normalize, you end up forcing muscles and joints that are still asleep. This creates the perfect conditions for small tears, sprains, and imbalances that can lead to dangerous falls. All of this happens silently, often without immediate pain, but the damage accumulates and can manifest later. Consider Elizabeth, 82 years old. Always active, she loved getting up early and tending to household tasks. However, she began feeling heaviness in her legs upon waking, yet insisted on walking quickly to the bathroom. One day, her knees unexpectedly locked up. She lost her balance and fell sideways, striking her hip against the bed frame. Fortunately, she avoided fracture, but Elizabeth spent weeks afraid to get up alone, dependent on assistance for simple tasks, all because she didn't respect the time her body needed to fully awaken. In Taoist philosophy, there's an essential principle called conscious awakening. They teach that when you wake up, your body and mind are in a transitional state between the world of rest and the world of action. Moving hastily is considered disrespectful to one's physical nature. They dedicate several minutes to gentle movements, light stretches, and deep breathing before any intense activity. This ritual preserves physical health, mental energy, and emotional stability throughout the day. What should you do? When you wake up, allow a few minutes for your body to adapt. While still lying down, move your fingers and toes, gently rotate your ankles, and slowly stretch your arms above your head. Once sitting on the bed's edge, carefully stretch your back and move your neck gently from side to side. These small gestures activate circulation, prepare your joints, and strengthen the neuromuscular system for the day ahead. Spending just 2 or 3 minutes on this practice could add years of autonomy, balance, and quality of life. It's your body asking for a little more respect and offering lasting vitality in return. Mistake number 5. Poor morning posture. Now we come to the most dangerous mistake of all, the one that seems minor and subtle but silently steals your strength, stability, breathing capacity, and even your confidence. Many people don't realize they're making it because it develops so subtly, like an invisible habit. But over the years, it becomes one of the main factors contributing to falls, mobility loss, and physical frailty. Perhaps without realizing it, you repeat this mistake every morning, not maintaining proper posture upon waking. Many seniors get up with their bodies hunched, shoulders slumped forward, head down, and torso collapsed. Beyond projecting an image of weakness, this posture restricts breathing, compresses internal organs, and destabilizes your body's center of gravity. In other words, you begin your day breathing inadequately, moving with less balance, and forcing your joints and muscles incorrectly. All of this exponentially increases the risk of dizziness, tripping, and accidents during the day's first hours. This poor morning posture creates profound and invisible consequences. The compressed ribcage reduces blood oxygenation, and less oxygen means less energy, more fatigue, and greater mental confusion. Additionally, a hunched torso disrupts bowel function, slowing digestion and promoting problems like bloating, gas, and constipation. It doesn't end there. Studies show that posture directly influences mood and memory. The more hunched you are, the greater your tendency toward sadness, discouragement, and insecurity. All of this begins silently with those first steps when you get out of bed. Let me share Patricia's story. At 84, she had always been active. She enjoyed walking, reading, and conversations with her family. But over time, without realizing it, she began rising from bed already hunched over, looking down at the floor. First came occasional dizziness, then a minor trip at home, and eventually a serious fall that left her unable to walk properly for months. All because her body, bent forward each morning upon waking, gradually lost its balance center and ability to respond quickly to minor missteps. What appeared to be just a way of walking was actually the silent warning that something much more important was at risk. In Taoist philosophy, posture is considered the physical expression of vital energy. For them, waking up and rising with a straight spine, aligned shoulders, and forward-facing gaze is a gesture of respect for life and your personal journey. This body awareness isn't about vanity, it's about health. It preserves muscle integrity, bone strength, breathing capacity, and mental clarity. Moving with presence and dignity upon waking is one of the secrets to aging with strength, lucidity, and independence. What should you do? Before standing up, while still sitting on the bed's edge, elongate your spine as if trying to grow taller. Take a deep breath, pull your shoulders back, and keep your chin parallel to the floor. When placing your feet on the ground, maintain an upright torso and direct your gaze at eye level, never toward the floor. Every step you take in the morning's first few minutes should be taken consciously, feeling your entire body working in harmony. This simple posture adjustment not only protects your physical strength but also nourishes your mental clarity, confidence, and connection to life itself. Never underestimate the power of your day's first movements. How you rise each morning shapes how you'll age and, more importantly, your ability to remain free and independent, not just physically, but in mind and spirit as well. Correcting. Your posture is a gift you give yourself every single day, and in the future it will make all the difference. Perhaps after hearing all this you're thinking, but I have always done these things and nothing bad has happened yet. That's a very common and completely human reaction. When we've practiced a habit for years, our brain creates a false sense of security. It believes that because nothing negative has occurred yet, nothing will happen in the future. But the human body doesn't work that way. The body resembles a bridge that gradually accumulates invisible cracks until one day, without warning, it suddenly gives way. Time's great deception is that it works silently. Many harmful habits don't produce immediate effects. They slowly erode your circulatory system, balance, muscle strength, and reaction ability. On the surface, everything appears fine, but internally, tiny imbalances, minor injuries, and slight declines in adaptability accumulate, undermining the foundation that supports your independence. When the first major scare happens, a fall, heart problem, or fainting spell, it seems to occur suddenly, when in reality, it resulted from years of ignoring subtle signals. In many Eastern traditions, including Taoist practice, there's a profound saying, "What you do today silently builds or destroys your tomorrow." Small acts of care and respect for your body are like invisible seeds planted daily. Just as a tree takes years to grow or decay, your body silently accumulates the impact of your daily choices. That's why when discussing morning habits, we're not addressing trivial matters. We're talking about your future freedom. If until today you've gotten out of bed however you wanted, ignored hydration, consumed coffee on an empty stomach, or moved too quickly, This doesn't condemn you. On the contrary, the human body has remarkable regenerative abilities. When you begin doing the right things, small changes today can interrupt silent processes that, if left unchecked, would bring painful limitations tomorrow. It's like changing a ship's direction. At first, the course adjustment seems minimal, almost imperceptible, but over time, it leads to a completely different destination. So before thinking, "It won't happen to me," ask yourself, what kind of future do I want to build starting now? Because regardless of your age, 65, 75, or 85, the truth is that as long as there's life, there's still time to do things differently. Every small act of care you adopt today is a silent investment in your freedom, strength, and joy of living for many years to come. If you've made it this far, you've already proven you're different. While many continue repeating the same habits without thought or question, you've chosen to do something more difficult. Seek awareness. That is the true beginning of any transformation. Simply understanding how your small daily actions shape your future already puts you on the path to longevity, vitality, and freedom. Because it's not time that determines how we age, it's the choices we make every day. Now you understand that what seems minor, getting up slowly, hydrating upon waking, eating before coffee, paying attention to your posture and first movements, is actually tremendously important. These details, overlooked by many, form the silent foundation preserving your strength, balance, and independence. Believe me, no one truly understands the importance of these things until the day they're gone. But you don't have to wait for that moment. You already possess the power to change your story's direction right now. Each morning presents a new opportunity to nurture vitality, balance, and protection for your future. It doesn't need to be perfect or radical. It simply needs to begin with respect. Respect for the body that sustains you, the life that pulses within you, and the story that still wants to be lived with joy and freedom. The more you honor these small moments, the more your body will respond with energy, lightness, and presence. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can represent wisdom, inner strength, and serenity. If anything we've discussed today resonated with you, know it wasn't coincidental. The universe always places signs along our path. We just need to be attentive enough to see them. Perhaps this video was your sign, the reminder that your story continues to be written and that you have every right to write it with awareness, love, and strength. Your body is your first home, and every act of care is a way of thanking it for everything it has already given you. So I invite you now, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to receive content that will help you build an even fuller life, and comment below. I choose to take care of my health every day, starting with the small things. This statement is more than just a comment. It's your commitment to the future you deserve.